About 2 months ago, I was stood under this very goat sallow, flushed at the time with the success of finding 2 purple emperor eggs. Those eggs were developing nicely, or at least they appeared to be developing nicely. And a couple of days later, I returned here to collect those 2 eggs to take home and to rear the 2 caterpillars through, hopefully to reach adulthood in 2023. The day I came to collect the 2 eggs, the temperature was nigh on nearly 40 degrees, the real high 30s. It was exceptionally hot. The sun was out, the sky was clear blue sky, unlike today. I retrieved the 2 eggs, but those eggs unfortunately never hatched. So starts the story, the sad story of purple emperors at Sherwood Forest, and apparently, from what we've heard, the rest of the UK in 2022. Now, the main reason for our visit to Clipsnell Quarter and Sherwood Forest today is to try and track down any available or still living purple emperor larvae. There should be L3 by now, so maybe just touching about a centimetre in length. It is, however, quite a fruitless task and likely deemed to failure. But it's something that myself and Nick and Samantha Brownlee will no doubt continue throughout the rest of the late summer and autumn and then through the winter. The difficulty is the high mortality rate that's been showed by the purple emperor eggs in the summer of 2022. That's the real problem. The heat and the high temperatures has led to them paying a heavy price, and out of about 30 or so eggs that Nick and Samantha and myself found, we only know of 2 that actually hatched. I have 1 at home, and that is still showing extreme signs of the effects of the drought and hot weather of 2022. Those effects are an advancement in that caterpillar's life cycle. This is September the 9th, and by now that caterpillar that I have at home should just be molting into what we call L3, which will mean that it's had 2 skin changes. The one I have at home is now L5, something it shouldn't be until about June of 2023. It has been known on occasions, albeit rare, that sometimes a second brood can appear. However, that second brood is usually just 1 or maybe 2 specimens at most, but it is extremely rare, and it's all down to the larva being forced by the hot temperature and the sunny weather. Now at home it's been kept outside, it's been kept in the shade, but that isn't enough, or hasn't been enough, to stop it from developing. It looks like I'll be releasing that larva as a butterfly somewhere up here at Sherwood Forest in just over a month or so's time, sometime in October. That's no good. It's no good to that individual butterfly, and it's no good to the species at Sherwood Forest, full stop. Can't afford to lose 1, let alone God knows how many others there could possibly be. It's doubtful that there'll be a lot, but if 1 larva is affected by the weather, or has been affected by the weather, I dare say there's more out there somewhere. Now, while I don't expect to find any larvae here today, that's what I am going around to do. It's important that we do try and find some before these leaves fall off the sallows and they become even harder to find sat against the bud. But what I have found is an egg that's now probably just over 2 months old, and of course it's not going to hatch. The larva inside is dead. This egg appears quite dark, purplish, almost black. What I'll do, I'll get you a bit closer, you can have a look. But this is the fate of virtually all of Sherwood Forest's purple emperors this summer. It's going to be a poor year next year. And here is that egg. It's now totally dark. It appears sort of dark, almost purple, if there's any colour to it. Typically, in purple emperor fashion, it's laid halfway between the midrib of the leaf here and the edge of the leaf, and this one's laid at about a 5-foot height from the ground. This is only a small sallow, and it has been laid on the shady side. This egg should by now be just about molting into its third instar as a larva, instead of lying dead here on the leaf. This egg would have taken some sunlight at some time in the day. It's amazing that it's here at all, because a lot of the sallows, especially in the Sherwood Forest area on the drier soils, did shed an awful lot of foliage, and a great proportion of the foliage on most of the sallows here today is poor. A lot of the leaves are showing signs of scorch on the edges and ends of the leaf. It's just a shame with a species that, although widespread now and clearly on the increase in Nottinghamshire, 2023 looks as though it's going to be a tough year to see purple emperors, at least here in Sherwood Forest. These aren't easy things to find anyway, even if you know the branch that one's on. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any on this tree. No eggs have been recorded on this tree at all, let alone this year. That doesn't mean to say that there aren't any eggs, or hopefully 1 or 2 larvae. That looks doubtful. But these are very difficult things to find anyway, and although you could have some success by beating the foliage over an open white tray, that's not my method of searching for these, and it's not the method used by Nick and Samantha Brownlee. Yes, ours might be more painstaking and just consisting of visual searching of foliage, and the correct type of foliage as well. It's the best way, far the best way, and this foliage is ideal. I mentioned that this being the correct foliage. Some goat sallows tend to go really thick and glossy leaves. Those leaves are very dark green, and they're so thick that female purple emperors won't lay on them, and purple emperor larvae certainly won't eat them. They prefer a lighter green and probably slightly smaller but thinner leaved. This particular tree is absolutely ideal. Well, it seems it, and yet we've never found a larva on it. The whole tree, the whole foliage on this tree from top to bottom is like this. But the methods I'm using, I can check visually the foliage that I can reach. I can pull branches down and check them just by holding them away, putting some glasses on so I can see the foliage. I'm looking for the larva. The larva, if you remember, if you've seen these other videos, always sit facing inwards on the tip of the leaf. But what I'm actually looking for, I'm looking for feeding signs as well. They don't eat great amounts. They're very much nibblers, especially the younger larvae, and they'll nibble small little bits out of this leaf on various sides and maybe a couple of others, and then they'll always return to a favoured spot. That spot does change over time, but they're quite untidy little eaters really. And that's the thing that I'm looking for feeding damage. But those branches that are out of reach, you can still look and see the larvae if they're present quite easily, because you can see them underneath as they're sat on this midrib here at the tip of the leaf. They show through. There's a dark sort of line on that tip that gives away their clue. The main reason that we're looking for these things now is because of the one that I have at home and how that has developed, and looks as though it's going to be an adult butterfly by sometime in October. It'd be nice to see if any of the wild larvae that have remained after the hot weather that we've had in the summer are of similar size, or whether they have stayed and just approaching L3 or just into L3 stage. There's always something to find out. Nothing is ever straightforward, no matter what the books tell you. There's always some quirky factor or something that wants figuring out. Just stood looking up the underside of this foliage, just looking for that telltale sign, and then I saw it. Have you? That characteristic purple emperor shape. I must admit, I'm stunned. And if you want to know where it is, the leaf bang in the centre. I don't know how well this will show because the sun's gone in, but it's on that leaf there. You may well should be able to see that distinctive slug-like shape. The larva is facing inwards, and of course it's on the other side of the leaf. I'm well chuffed. You can see it's been having a couple of nibbles on this leaf here and also this leaf. See if we can get you a touch closer. I'm having to pull this branch down because it's quite high up. Now, I'm amazed to have found this. I'm having to pull this branch down, so it will not be particularly steady, but this is a L3 or third instar purple emperor larva. First time I've found one at this stage, and it is a centimetre in length, and that's not including the two horn-like projections. These are the shape of a slug, very easy to identify, and that conspicuous shape is very easy to discern even when you're viewing from underneath the leaf, looking silhouetted against the sun. What's doubly exciting and pleasing about this is that this tree wasn't used last year, and it had been searched for eggs, but no eggs had been found. This particular larva, if I was to let go of this, would shoot up to about 7 foot off the ground. It's an ideal tree growing in the shade of an even larger goat sallow, and it does get some sunshine, and this one's facing west, but the important thing is that this one's survived. I didn't think I'd find a caterpillar, but it goes to show that by standing underneath a tree against a bright sky, even just a centimetre long, the shape is distinctive. Excellent. Well, I may well develop a bad neck looking for purple emperor larvae in the manner that I have been doing, but it's paid off. It's obviously a profitable technique and method that I need to use again. In fact, in some ways, it's probably easier to see that silhouette on the leaf, silhouetted against a bright sky, than it is to look down onto the foliage visually. I'm just so pleased to have found one. Didn't think I would. It's a shame that a lot of the eggs haven't hatched, but at least we know that there is some success for the purple emperor in Sherwood Forest, and that there should be some butterflies to see in 2023. That's the hope. In the meantime, next few weeks, while there's still leaves on these big old sallows, I'm going to keep looking, try and find as many as possible, and no doubt I'll be joined by Nick and Samantha Brownlee in the search to find these purple emperor larvae before winter sets in.